Oh, hello, it is your boy Gomi, and we're gonna be back looking at another UFC fight night. And oh, it is probably the greatest UFC fight night of all time. Coming hot off the heels from that amazing UFC Charlotte card, which I said was gonna be a banger and ended up being a banger. And oh man, that was a good betting night for me. We now have the fight that they took off, which was the fourth fight on the main card, and they slapped it up and made it a main event in the Apex. Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill. Yep, this is a fight night, and it is going to be one we'll be looking over. Not looking that good, to be honest with you, too. So yes. Looking at starting out is going to be Takashi Sato versus Gorimbo. I don't like this matchup for Sato, to be honest with you. Sato, it's a winnable fight for him. I'm gonna be leaning towards Gorimbo, but Sato, he's been in there with like high level guys. That's the thing. He's been in there with the best of the best. Gunnar Nelson, Brian Battle, Bilal Muhammad. Like, he's been with some good guys, some elite level guys. It's just that he just has a problem overall just taking on the elite guys. He's just not at the elite level. But Gorimbo's not elite, but I do think he's better than Sato. Natalia Silva versus Victoria Leonardo. This is pretty much, I feel, going to be a massacre for Natalia Silva. I have not liked what I've seen from Victoria, to be honest with you. I feel Natalia Silva is going to probably mop the floor for him. With her, excuse me. Chase Hooper makes his lightweight debut against Nick Fiore. I really like Chase Hooper. I really do. But I just don't feel like he was ever at that top level. I don't think he was ever going to even make top 15 in featherweight. And did he fight a bantamweight as well too? I don't remember that. But regardless, things are not looking good for your skinny boy, Chase Hooper. I think he'll win this fight though. Yes, I'm going to be one to say I think he'll win this fight. Granted, he still looks small as hell, especially for lightweight now, but his jiu-jitsu is pretty good. Nick Fiore, his striking is okay. Chase Hooper has awful striking, but I don't think Nick Fiore's striking eclipses him enough. It definitely is far better, but I don't think it eclipses him enough that he's able to eliminate Chase Hooper. The fight, he'll probably drop him. Fight will get to the ground. I feel Chase Hooper can honestly get a submission. This is a long shot. It's just what I feel is going to happen. But make no mistake, this is a long shot pick for me. Latifi versus Rodrigo. I'm going to be leaning towards Rodrigo. Not more so because of, I think Latifi's really, like, Rodrigo's much better. He's still newer to the UFC. But I think Latifi's just not very good, which is why I'm going to be leaning towards Rodrigo. I've not liked what I've seen from Latifi. Orion Kosei versus Gilbert Ubina. What did Orion go against? It was Blood Diamond. Yeah, he fought Blood Diamond. I'm gonna lean towards Gilbert Ubina, to be honest with you. I don't really care much for either guy. Honestly, even though Orion had beaten Blood Diamond looked awful in all of his UFC fights, so that's not much of a win. Meanwhile, Urbina's best fight was against Battle, which he lost. I said best fight. That was his only fight. Forgive me. I'm going to lean towards Urbina. I guess it's a hard one to pick with those two. My best bet is to not even pick anyone. Carolina versus Vanessa Demiapas. I saw a very funny tweet where saying Carolina does not lose to strippers. I don't like Carolina as a favorite. She's a Polski. I want to root for my fellow Polskis, but I don't like her as a favorite. I don't know how she's going to handle against that. I'm going to be leaning towards Vanessa, to be honest with you. I think that stripper strength is going to be what it takes. Machate versus Borshev. I'm going to be going Borshev with knockout. I like his hands. I don't like Machate's hands. So Borshev knockout. Now, this fight should be way higher up on the card. These are some old lightweight veterans. Diego Ferreira versus Coin Flip Johnson. I like this fight, actually. I think this is probably the best fight on the card other than the one right above it. I like it. I'm going to lean towards coin flip. I don't like his power in his hands as much these days. Like, he used to be lightning fast, deadly hands. Ask Dustin Poirier. But, and also ask Ferreira, who also got his ass beat by Poirier. But, who got his ass beat by Poirier? I'm sorry, Johnson beat Poirier. What am I saying? But, yeah, coin flip. He's old, weathered, but Ferreira has looked bad. He's looked bad in his last fights, honestly. Gamrot KO'd him. Gamrot does not have KO power. KO'd him. He lost to Gregor Gillespie, who's disappeared off the face of the earth. Whatever happened to him? He has had one loss. Wait, what the heck? No. Like, whatever happened to Gregor Gillespie? Like, oh my god. Homie lost once and decided, I'm gonna go fish. But regardless, Diego Ferreira has not looked very good in all his last couple fights, honestly. Michael Johnson has been looking decent. He arguably won against Jamie Mullarkey. To be honest with you, I'm going to be leaning towards coin flip, even though he's an underdog. I like that. But I'm not going to be leaning towards knockout. He has a lot of power, but I feel he's lost a lot of that power in his age. But he's still pretty fast. He's still got fast hands. Diego Ferreira doesn't really have much. Andre Fialho versus Joaquin Buckley. I love me some Joaquin Buckley, but he just fails to stand the test of time, honestly. It's sad. Joaquin Buckley had so much promise and potential with that amazing knockout, but I still think he's a better fighter than Andre Fialho. This is also Buckley's welterweight debut. Keep that in mind. I feel like Buckley should have went down to welterweight a while ago. He's always been a stocky middleweight, but he's never been like a big middleweight. Like, for example, he fought against Kevin Holland at middleweight, and you see how much bigger Kevin Holland was than him. Kevin Holland now fights at welterweight, which I think is his true home. Buckley should have been there. Andre Fialho, he's decent. He's got some okay striking, but Joaquin Buckley has better striking, better pace. It's just, I don't know about his chin. That worries me. Buckley by knockout is probably your best pick because Fialho's been knocked out in all of his last fights, right? His last 2 fights, he got knocked out. So, yeah, I'm going to lean towards Buckley by KO. Emily Ducote versus Lupi Godinez. I don't like this fight at all. I don't like picking between this fight. I'm going to be leaning towards Lupi Godinez, but keep in mind, this is a short notice catchweight bout. That's something to mention. Lupi's looked better in the last fights. Emily Ducote doesn't look the greatest. She's not looked the best in her fights. She lost to Angela Hill as well, too. Co-main event, Edwin Shabazian versus Anthony Hernandez. Who is Anthony Hernandez this last fight? I can't remember for the life of me, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, Anthony Hernandez. Nothing special, to be honest with you, but I think he's going to be a little bit better than Shabazian. Shabazian, from what we've seen, he seemed to be pretty good in his striking overall, but just like pretty good. It's not like elite, not average. This is a low tier middleweight bout. Like, neither of these guys are like top ranked. I do like what I've seen from both of these guys, so I feel it'll be an entertaining matchup overall. It's just that they're not like super high level, but I feel they're perfectly matched with each other to make this a very fun fight. And the main event, Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill. I spent more time on the card on this one, and I probably will be, than the actual fight itself. So this is going to be a strawweight matchup. Mackenzie Dern going to be 30 years of age, 12 wins, 3 losses, not a damn knockout, all submissions. She comes from a long lineage of BJJ black belts, and oh man, she's good on jiu-jitsu. 7 submissions, 5'4" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 63-inch reach advantage. Angela Hill actually has the reach advantage. I did not edit that. I don't know what I put there. Angela Hill has I missed. Okay. Angela has a 64.5-inch reach advantage. Mackenzie Dern has a 63-inch reach disadvantage. Mackenzie Dern is going to be 0.61 takedown average, a 48.44% significant strike accuracy, and a -180 favorite. She has significant wins over Tisha Torres, Nina Nunes, and Vernia Jandrova. Jandrova? I've tried. I'm so sorry. Angela Hill, going to be 38 years of age. She's been in the game for quite some time. An astonishing record of 15 wins and 12 losses. All those losses coming from the UFC. She's 10-12 in the UFC. 5 knockouts, no submissions, 5'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 64.5-inch reach advantage, a 0.58 takedown average, a significant strike accuracy of 51.88%, plus 155 underdog, with significant wins over Emily Ducote and Lupi Godinez. It's very easy to just look at this fight and say Mackenzie Dern by submission, Mackenzie Dern by submission round 1. That's going to be my leaning toward, what I'm going to lean towards in my pick, because Mackenzie Dern, while we've seen that she's been stifled on her path to top, she got stifled a few times. She still has very good jiu-jitsu, like elite level jiu-jitsu. The problem is her stand-up, her wrestling, all that is still lagging behind. All that is still not on the level of what her jiu-jitsu is. And we've seen with guys like the Gracies and Claudio Puelles and stuff like that, like you can't just be just a jiu-jitsu guy. Thankfully, Mackenzie Dern has better sensibility than those guys I just mentioned, and she actually does train her stand-up and her wrestling a little bit. It's still not on the same, like, the level I feel it should be for elite level headlining fighters, but still, she's smart with it. Angela Hill is a scrappy brawler. She's a little bit more measured and patient in her last couple fights, which is why they've been decisions. But that's the thing. She used to be more of a blitzing brawler and used to fight a lot like Wilder. But yeah, she's been on a decision rampage for a while. She hasn't had that same level of pop snap for a good bit. But she's still a brawler through and through. She's just not very good. Simple as that. I'm sorry. Her striking defense is not the best. Her takedown defense is pretty, it's slightly above average. She does land she's a high volume striker like I mentioned, so she lands a very high amount of significant strikes, but she doesn't really go for takedowns. She doesn't really defend very often. No knockouts. Nothing really special. Like, Dern is not the greatest, but she at least has some pretty elite level jiu-jitsu, while Angela Hill has average striking for women's MMA, and she's pretty durable. I'll give her that. But I just feel the jiu-jitsu aspect of it. I'm gonna keep going to this. I feel she can get submitted. Her submission defense has been shown to be pretty decent recently, but she's been submitted in round 1 by Amanda Nunes, and I believe it was Tisha Torres who also submitted her. Don't quote me on that. But granted, those were almost 10 years ago, so not really much to hold onto, but she also hasn't faced an elite level submission person in her recent run, honestly, in UFC. Like, nobody I'm looking on this list is like, yep, that's a person who will submit her. That's a submission goddess. It's literally just really Mackenzie Dern, who's like the best submission person that she will face in such a long time. So I still feel there's a chance, because like I said, Mackenzie Dern's striking is not that good at the moment. There's a chance Angela Hill could blitz her, maybe get her down, like get her knockdown on her, maybe rounds 1 and 2, and maybe put it on her, win a decision. I don't think she'll knock her out, but I'm just going to be leaning towards Mackenzie Dern. Probably fighting, boxing out, maybe get herself getting dropped and get a submission from the bottom, or getting a very long-winded takedown. I'm not a huge fan of this fight, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of this fight. I know Mark Zuckerberg probably loves this fight and is going to buy out the whole Apex again, but yeah, not my cup of tea. Honestly, I probably would have preferred, you can't really put Buckley on here coming off a loss. Ferreira and Johnson, no. So yeah, maybe Shabazi and Hernandez could have headlined it. But well, to be fair, honestly, this is their only ranked fighters on here are Dern and Hill. Regardless, this has been your boy Gomi. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Bye bye.